With enough time and dedication, you could remove every single tree from the map of 99 Nights in the Forest. But if you're playing as a level 2 or level 3 lumberjack class, you can actually increase your total number of saplings, if you're lucky enough. This means that theoretically, you could also do the exact opposite and fill the entire map with trees. If you think that that sounds crazy, you've seen nothing yet. Today we're exploring the absolute theoretical limits of 99 Nights in the Forest. When I realized you could coat the world in timber, it got me thinking, what would be the hardest item to fill the map with? Let's start with the morsel. Based on the map's dimensions, it would take roughly 7,079,202 morsels to completely cover the ground. If we assume you can scavenge one morsel every 15 seconds, it would take over 40 months or 3.36 years of non-stop gameplay just to carpet the forest in snacks. Not bad, but we can go smaller. Bunny's feet are significantly tinier than morsels. While they aren't a guaranteed drop, it is technically possible to get one every single time you hunt. If we assume that you're efficient enough to cull a rabbit every 20 seconds, you would need approximately 28,353,509 bunny's feet to hide the grass. Don't worry though, it will only take you about 17.97 years of hunting to finish the job. In a perfect game, you could cast your line and cast trident after trident after trident. In the worst possible game, you could fish for 1,000 years and never see one. But what would it actually take to fill the map with them? According to the 99 Nights wiki, a fish takes up to 15 seconds to bite. If we average that out to about 8 seconds plus 4 seconds to reel it in, you're looking at a rate of about 5 fish per minute. The community says that the trident drop rate is extremely low, so let's estimate that to be about 1%. At that rate, you'll find one trident every 20 minutes of fishing. Based on the scaling of the item, a trident is roughly 5 studs tall and 1 stud wide. To cover the map, you would need 1,811,063 of them. Total time required, 68.87 years. If you thought 68.87 years was bad, then we're only getting started. If we look at a blueprint, it measures about 2 by 3.5 studs. To fill the map, you would need 1,292,991 of them. But what if you wanted the rarest ones? The wiki claims that there are only 3 legendary items for sale, but I know that that's a lie. I can name at least 6. If the furniture trader visits every 3 days with a 10% chance to sell a legendary piece of furniture, it would take about 14 in-game days to get one specific item. To fill the map with over 1 million copies of that one legendary furniture piece, you're looking at 2,065 years of straight gameplay. Finally, let's look at the cultists. Raids happen in the game every 20 minutes, yielding a maximum of 8 cultist bodies per raid. At 5 studs tall and 4 studs wide, you'd only need 451,572 cultists to cover the floor, taking a relatively short 2.15 years. But we can push this much further using the volcano. You can sacrifice cultists for rewards on a set cycle. You usually get 3 gems, then 1 Forest of the Gem fragment, followed by a weapon. Either the Infernal Crossbow or the Infernal Sword. In a perfect world, you would get the sword every 24 cultists. If it takes 1 hour of raiding to secure 1 Infernal Sword, how long until the map is covered? By comparing the Infernal Sword to morsels, we can estimate it to be about 2.8 by 0.1 studs. With these dimensions, we can calculate that you would need 32,405,538 Infernal Swords to cover the map. Even in a perfect world of luck, that would take 3,699 years. But if we're talking about more realistic expectations, where it's a 50-50 chance of getting an Infernal Sword or an Infernal Crossbow, it would take closer to 7,400 years just to cover the map. Put that in perspective. If Adam and Eve started playing 99 Nights in the Forest at the dawn of civilization and played until today, they would only be an estimated 81% of the way done filling up the map with swords. And remember, that's just to cover the floor. If you wanted to fill the entire 3D volume of the map all the way up to the rim, that could take over 3.5 million years. In-game, that's only 4 trillion days. Better get started. While there are many ways to completely cover the ground in 99 Nights in the Forest, what if I told you that there's also a way to completely cover the sky? During my last long run, I discovered that repeatedly placing and destroying the basketball arcade game will yield infinite basketballs. Unfortunately, I was not the first person to discover this. However, what I bet you didn't know is that if you fill a pond with basketballs, put something in your sack, and then release that item while standing in the pond, the item will go flying into the sky. Furthermore, if you get the dropped item to fly up at the right angle and with enough speed, it will become stuck high up in the sky. This means that theoretically, if you dropped enough items while standing in the pond, you could fill the entire sky with cultists, fish, and oil barrels. This would probably take hundreds if not thousands of years to do, but given enough time, it's definitely possible. So, how can we achieve something truly extraordinary with this newfound knowledge? Enter the infinite monkey theorem. The infinite monkey theorem suggests that if a monkey hits keys at random on a typewriter for an infinite amount of time, it will eventually type the complete works of William Shakespeare. It works because in an infinite timeline, even the most impossible odds become a 100% certainty. Essentially, with enough time and random attempts, every possible outcome must happen eventually. So now imagine that we have an infinite number of instances running 99 Nights in the Forest, and imagine that each of them runs for an infinite amount of time. If this were the case, then anything that could possibly happen in the game will, at some point, happen. So now let's bring it back to throwing objects into the sky using a basketball pond. With infinite instances of the game running, eventually one instance will cover the entire sky with items. Another instance will cover the entire sky with nothing but cultist king bodies. Another instance will cover the entire sky with Gem of the Forest fragments. So on and so forth, every item that can cover the sky will cover the sky. But we can take it a step further. One instance will paint out a replica of the Mona Lisa using cultist gems. Another instance will produce a QR code that takes you to the Roblox homepage. Another instance will tell you to subscribe to my channel. I could go on and on with these because there's an infinite number of possible places for items to end up in the sky. Even if we tried to put a number on how many different possibilities there are by saying that there are maybe 1 million different X positions that an item can end up at, and 1 million different Z positions that an item can end up at, there would still be 9.576 times 10 to the power of 301,29,995,663 different possibilities. If I were to write that number out, it would take over 300 billion digits. To try to put that into an ounce of perspective for you, if I were to write one number every second, it would take me approximately 9,534 years just to write out that number. This means that if our goal was to fill every one of those slots with infernal swords, it would take us roughly 114,077,116 years to complete, or 17,142,857,142,857 in-game days, approximately 300 million times longer than the current world record. So far, we've talked about placing a massive number of items on the map, but how many of these items could I collect into my inventory? The short answer is infinity, but that's boring. So let's get a little more specific. The Roblox integer limit is 2 to the power of 53, or roughly 9 quadrillion. So let me explain it like this. If I have less than 9 quadrillion of any item in my inventory, and I gain one more of that item, the game will increase my count of that item by 1. But once I reach 9 quadrillion, it will no longer track that I'm gaining any more items. It will remain at 2 to the 53 no matter what I do. So let's figure out how long it would take to get 9 quadrillion of every item in the game. To save myself from doing too much math, we will only be calculating how long it will take us to get all 3 ammos, cultist gems, and gem of the forest fragments, as well as every mythic blueprint and every legendary blueprint. Starting with the ammo, we can get 1 set of ammo every 8 minutes. This is because we can get 1 oil barrel every 8 minutes, and each oil barrel can be converted into 1 set of ammo at the ammo place in the lava biome. While it's much harder to get shotgun ammo, we are going to assume that it is an even 1-to-1-to-1 chance of getting any of the 3 ammo boxes. With this in mind, it is estimated to take about 91.3 billion years to collect 9 quadrillion of all 3 types of ammo. Next up, we have cultist gems and gems of the forest. We can get 3 cultist gems from the volcano every 24 minutes and 2 cultist gems from the stronghold every 20. Likewise, we can get 1 forest gem fragment from the volcano every 24 minutes and 1 fragment from the stronghold every 20 minutes. With these rates, it would take us roughly 62 billion years to get 9 quadrillion cultist gems, and 753 billion years to get 9 quadrillion gems of the forest. Lastly, we have the blueprints. Using the same rates that we used to estimate filling up the map earlier, we can estimate it to take about 8 trillion years to get 9 quadrillion of every mythic blueprint, and 14.4 trillion years to get 9 quadrillion of every legendary blueprint. In the end, we find that it will take us roughly 23 trillion years to complete this task. Today we've explored the theoretical limits of 99 Nights in the Forest. This was my first attempt at a video essay, so if you have any feedback, please leave it in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and with that, I'll see you in the next video.